Okay.
Okay, so today's guest is mostly known as Za1on in the circles that he is playing games in, the self-appointed Hokage of Montreal. Uh,
Some people have told me that. Not all self-appointed.
okay. Did it start with you or did it start with someone else?
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Molly in Stripe Quebec that would like do that as like a joke. I don't think it was actually like serious. It was either Molly or What Goat, but I don't remember exactly who. But yeah,
Gotcha.
and then it just took around and we kind of just meme about it nowadays. But I like the sound of it.
Oh yeah, I think that you're someone that's very down to go with a joke. You're very down to I don't know. I think that you are very confidently yourself. You are you're not worried about being the punchline if you have to be. You
Yeah,
you want to have fun. You want to showcase who you are, and as long as somebody's is making fun of you in a friendly way, I think that you're more than down to either or give that back or just roll with it. Like
100%.
I
I always think like if like even if I'm like the butt of the joke, like as long as people are laughing, like whatever, people are happy.
yeah
Like whatever. If obviously like you said though, like not like I'm not gonna start like letting like bullying get it like slide, but like if it's like between friends or whatever, like yeah, of course, I really don't mind.
yeah, I
I
think you're
like it.
someone that's comfortable enough that if it's not malicious, you recognize
Yeah,
that that's
yeah,
how people talk.
exactly. We don't fuck with evil. Evil is
Yeah, I think you because of that at nature, you've developed a lot of inside jokes about yourself in the scene over the years. Like you got the Hokage of Montreal, you got a Fortnite dance when you hit Rekka Rekka Super.
Oh my god, yeah. I will say though, like the Rekka Rekka Super, that was definitely Justin starting that shit, but it was really hilarious. And it's funny because like I remember, I think it was at like UMAD. I was so locked in, like into my match or whatever. I was getting destroyed by Test Your Luck or some shit, and then they like did the dance and like and like in the moment like I didn't like think of like laughing with it or whatever,
Mhm.
but like thinking about it like after I was like okay, that was kind of fucking jokes.
Yeah, no, it's I think that it's very special that people have a connection to watching you. People have a connection to you in the scene. Like you leave your mark,
Yeah,
and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you're very genuine and you know you laugh stuff off. You generally you are one of the people where I've told you this before, but when I watch you play Strive, you look like you're having fun and you make the game seem fun.
thank you. I try sometimes, obviously with fighting games, fun isn't always there,
Yeah.
especially like in a more competitive environment. But at the end of the day, like yeah, like I do it for the love of the game, and there's like I mean, especially like the first times I really started to compete more, like I was really like I really want to play my way, and I want to do
Mm.
things like my way. Nowadays, I'm more like okay, I kind of have to abide to the meta to a certain extent. Yes, Dyer, I will wall break and not go for a mix. Get the hard knockdown, get a positive bonus.
You gotta follow the
But
rules sometimes.
yeah. But I did definitely like going for the memes a lot of the time, and I definitely lost a lot of set because of it. But
Mm.
it was cool, and I did it my way at the end, and yeah. I used to think like I like to be like more of a crowd pleaser.
Mm.
But nowadays like I just chill down and like I'm just more like willing to you know play more for like the fundamentals and do like I mean that's the thing. It's like even like the fundamental stuff can be cool at times.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's something that I've learned to appreciate more
Mm.
with time. Whereas like before I was like, no, you have to do like fucking 6H counter hit crazy routing, even though it's not optimal just for the crowd.
Oh yeah,
So
but
yeah.
that's the thing. If you're always being crazy, at times it's even just like someone sees you behave and do the right routing and get your wall break, and they're like, "Damn, that's hype. He's behaving today."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Shit, he's really locked in today.
No, that's it. You're
Yeah,
taking the training weights off.
yeah. Oh my God, Rock Lee. Oh my God.
So, I'm not actually sure where your tag comes from. I've heard a few different pronunciations of it. I know that I think the canonical one is Za1on. It's spelled with a one.
Okay, so funny enough, Za1on, I didn't even think about that. It was one of our local player back then. Shout out Sunny D. He was the
Mhm.
goat. He would come to a lot of the locals, and he actually participated in Stripe Quebec. He was in the scene before you pretty much came in. Like I'd say, like maybe a year before.
Yeah, like I think
Uh,
we've interacted a few times, but like a name I know,
yeah,
a face I know, but haven't seen him a bunch.
yeah, exactly. And so it was Sunny D, and I did not even know that one in Japanese was Ichi. And then like one day in Stripe Quebec, he was like, oh, like technically the correct way of saying your name would be Zaichion. And I just thought it was so fucking cool, so I kind of stuck with it.
Okay.
I just think like it makes it a more like logical sense, you know, like why is
Mhm.
there a one well Ichi, so Zaichion, you know. It's like a bit more logical. But if you are curious about the actual origin of it, it's a sad origin that every time I say it, like breaks my heart a little bit. But I used to be a League of Legends player. I used to play a lot of rank. Yeah, yeah. No, don't worry. I got over it. I was able to beat the addiction.
I'll
But yeah,
get
when
there
I
one
was in
day.
my teenage, when I was never, when I was in my teenage years, I played like a bunch of fucking League, and I was a big sweat, big try hard. And my main role was mid lane, and I love the assassins. You know, kind of
Mhm.
like how in fighting games like nowadays, I like the ninjas, I like the assassin. Same thing for in the league days where I was like, I really love Zed, I really love Katarina, I really love Akali, I really like LeBlanc, and I also my main was actually Talon.
Mhm.
And so I before like when I first started playing League, like I was like probably like 14, 15, whatever. My initial gamer tag was like Seb 500, so it's just
Mhm.
like my name is Sebastian, so Seb 500. It was really silly,
Yeah, that's the
but then
vibe.
when I got more, yeah, then I got more serious about the game and like was playing more rank, and then I was like, you know what would be cool if I combined the word Zed and Talon, and obviously because I'm a gamer, I'm gonna put a one in the for the L,
Of course.
and that's how the tag was born,
Okay.
sadly.
So is it actually
But
supposed to be pronounced Za1on?
Yeah. From the origins of it, yes. From the origins of it, yes.
Okay.
Nowadays, I mean, to be honest, like I've always been loosey goosey with the name.
Hmm.
I'm always just like, say whatever you think is coolest, you
Yeah,
know,
you're
whatever.
freestyling.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Zalon, Zion, Zaichion, like whatever. People, I'm not really like picky about it. I'm just like say it however you prefer.
Okay, yeah, because I remember I was pretty sure that it was a combination of Zed and Talon, just based on like the way you play the stuff you like.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mentioned it to Justin at some point, and Justin goes, "No, it's not that. It's pronounced Zion."
yeah.
It's right down. Okay,
Yeah. Well, Justin never officially asked me, I don't think anyway, so I
damn.
don't know where he went.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want to know about you. He's not curious.
No. Yeah.
So I guess that's a natural segue into a lot of my context for who you are. I would imagine, well, who you are in the scene. I imagine for a lot of people is you were part of a trio called the Fart Crew with Corey, also known as Yair, and Justin, who is just Justin.
Yes, that
Uh,
is in fact true.
I have a question from
Uh,
both of them. Justin's was a bit of a shitpost. Corey's was an actual question, so I'll bring it up later with stuff that's a little more relevant. Uh,
okay, you want me to start with the shitpost?
yeah, I guess just before going more into the Fart Crew, I've sent you a spoilered image on Discord. Justin wants me to send you this image. You can open it up now. I'll show it
Okay.
on screen.
Oh yeah. No, he's been sending me this image. I know he's
Yeah,
happy.
I asked him if he had a question for you, and he wanted me to ask you why you have time to do interviews on the internet but not hang out with your friends.
That's fucking crazy, bro. That's so crazy.
What's your answer?
My answer to that is where's the invites? Where's the invites? I don't know.
All right,
You know, like just hit me up and I'll hang up and I'll hang out when I can. Honestly,
you heard him,
I'm
Justin.
always I'm always open to hang out. Obviously, you know, with his meme, like yeah, I've been a bit tougher to schedule, but I try to show up. You know, I'm not I haven't disappeared for months except for when I left to Chile. But like
Oh
that's
yeah,
you know
when you're in the country, you've pulled up to my place on random Wednesday nights. I think
yeah,
ju-
exactly. I could pull up to chill. You know, but
you know
obviously like
phone works two ways,
you know
Justin.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And I feel like everyone gets busy about different stuff in different time. Like, yeah, girlfriend is a big part of it, but sometimes like I have work or sometimes like family matters. Like there's stuff. And now that I say that, Justin is gonna meme about me like in my a million cousins' weddings, but I don't know what to tell you.
How many
I'm
cousins' weddings have
Chilean. I
you
have a lot of
attended?
family. Huh?
How many cousins' weddings have you attended?
Two.
Only two?
Yeah, I mean like two more when I was younger, like a lot younger, like when I was like a kid. And then this year, well, I mean last year technically, I had two of my cousin getting married. One is like one of my best friends,
Hmm.
Alex, and the other one, like obviously, like I'm really tight with him, but it's Andres. And yeah, really happy for both of them. And it just happened like to be when the fart crew was inviting me for something, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I have to go to a wedding. What do you want me to do? Not go?" You know. And ever since then, they're always like, "Oh, you have a million weddings, a million cousin weddings."
Yeah, Justin makes
Well,
it sound like you've been to like 50.
no, I've only been to two this year. He's just a fucking paranoid.
He
He just
misses you,
hasn't been
clearly.
to one, so for him, like two is like, oh my god, incredible amount.
Clearly, he's been lashing out. He wants to send you this picture. He thinks you're at a million weddings.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny, cause like Audrey 2D, like the artist that goes in like our fighting events.
Mhm.
She loves to like how do you say that? It's like fan
The-
fiction of like me and
yeah, she ships
Justin,
you
like
too.
we're a couple. Yeah, yeah, she ships us too, exactly. And like with things like that, with like Justin acting like the jealous girlfriend, like maybe she's onto something.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
see it. Like, I if I were trying to ship the fart crew, Justin makes it very easy. Like he's a real yandere about both you and Corey. Like I have
Yeah.
there was a
Oh,
time a while ago, him and Corey are playing Undernight on my computer. People are just hanging out.
yeah.
And Corey starts texting someone. And
Okay.
just and Justin gets like visibly annoyed and he goes, Corey, who are you texting? Why aren't you playing?
Okay.
And like, yeah, they just keep playing and Corey keeps like pausing between games, aims to
Text
text him to text someone. And like eventually Justin goes, okay, if I beat you 10 in a row, will you tell me who you're texting? And just like locks the fuck in and just starts being evil to him.
No, did he actually do the 10 wins in a row?
Yeah, he did.
No way.
Like,
And who was it?
I was just a friend of his. Like,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
it was not that deep, but like the entire time Justin's going like, "Do you have a girlfriend? Are you texting your girlfriend instead of me?"
Justin is like he needs that attention.
I think there's also you can. I mean, you can and tell me in more words in a second, but I get the impression that not having a girlfriend is one of the pillars of being in the fart crew.
You know, um, I don't think so.
They told me they're replacing you.
I think
They're
I
holding
think it
tryouts,
has.
man.
I know, and I find it appalling. I find it ridiculous. Uh, like not to go into a side tangent.
Please
The
do.
whole
Like,
meme,
the format is
the
very
whole
conversational. Go on any tangents you want to go on.
okay, the whole meme about the fart crew was never about like being a lonely loser or anything like that. It was the whole like meme and reason we started this thing, and like obviously we started as a joke, we to anyone in the internet that thinks we're like whoever watches this video, I should say, like thinks like we're being like downers on ourselves and we think like we're losers or whatever. It really isn't about that. The main reason it started, it was because like me, Justin, here, we were all like being competitive about Strive, and but none of us like really like won like any big tournaments or like made like a big top eight like or anything like that. I mean, we made some top eights, regional wise or whatever, but we never like really like won anything, I should say.
Hmm.
And so the meme started because of it was around the time of Blue Lock, of course, and there was like I don't know if you're familiar with Blue Lock.
Through you
Uh,
guys.
huh?
I'm familiar through you guys. Like you've
Yeah,
referenced it
yeah.
enough that like I get the picture through the three of you talking about
No,
each
basically,
other.
like in Blue Lock, like it's like all about like ego, and then like sometimes like when they're like explaining a point, they like use like the yellow people, and it's like these like pentagon like people like shaped head, and they're just like they're just like they're basically like depicted as like never to be winners, you know.
Yeah, they're
And
just like
so we
filler
kind of
characters.
yeah, exactly. And we kind of like inserted ourselves with them. And the second point that came with that as well was that like we were like the joke that we commonly said about ourselves was like never good enough to beat like a top player, but good enough for like some like, you know, lower level player like to beat us and like pop off on us, you know?
Oh yeah.
And so like and so like the fart crew came as like a combination of like these two concepts
Hmm.
like together, like we kind of merged them together, and we were like, we're farts, we can't beat top players, and we're like kind of like the yellow octagon people or whatever. But people celebrated when they beat us, so like we're the fart crew, and like it was kind of like a status, you know. I don't know how to explain
Oh
it.
no, I think you did a perfect job. Like
Yeah.
conceptually, you talk to the fart crew for a bit, you immediately know what it means.
Hmm.
I think it's somewhat of a funny label to give yourselves because, like, on a local level, most weekly e-finals when I was showing up were or some kind of fart crew matchup, and like for a little bit,
Yeah.
it was like a month until I met Justin, and I remember being
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah, they've got like a secret third member, like the same way in the anime, hey, you've got like shit, like Justin was the Itachi of just like Sasuke's older brother's somewhere, and he's gonna show up one day.
Yeah. I love that we were like foreshadowing him a bunch until you finally met him.
Yeah, no, like it really was just like you guys really play into it. It's a really nice
Yeah.
vibe. It was
Oh yeah.
coming into the scene, it really was like, okay, I immediately know who these guys are because they're all very willing to just I don't know. I think that especially when I met you all, like not to go on too much of a tangent about someone that isn't here, I'd like to talk to him at some point. But
Hmm.
when I first met Yer, like we originally bonded over the fact that like I'm slightly older than him, but he
Hmm.
felt very intensely about competition at the time.
Yeah.
And like that was something I remembered from a bit earlier in my life when I was playing Magic. And it's kind of
Yeah.
funny to think about like yeah, you can take it very seriously, you can like have these emotions on the line, and then somebody goes, okay, and you're the fart crew, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I guess it's kind of really funny how like well, again, like all of us, like we always joke about the Farker and all that, but we definitely, especially Yair, not to call him out or anything, but we definitely have like our frustrating moment, like competing, where like we have a tough loss, you know, or whatever, and then like, it's hard to smile after losing, obviously.
Of course.
But what always gets us to smile is after the tournaments, a nice beer and just hanging out with the friends, you know. And
Hmm.
I think like that's another thing that the Far Cruise is about is just like being able to detach ourselves a bit from the competition after the competition, where we're just like, well, we're all friends, we're all nerds, we all just like the game and just like have a good time. And the last thing I'll mention is that that was actually like a big part of how the Far Crew was made, because I remember, like, and now I'm gonna go on a tangent a bit, but like
Please.
when I first started going to the locals, it was like I want to say like a couple months after Strive was out. I want to say like maybe 5 months around there.
Hmm.
And I had never. Well, I mean, I went to like one Smash local, but I never really like had gone to like a scene really like for fighting games, you know.
Hmm.
And I remember like I started to go on Twitter because I was getting more involved with Strive, and then like I looked up to see like if there was like any locals in Montreal, and I think it was because like I was watching like Corey gaming video and they talked about locals and all that. So,
Hmm.
anyways, I looked up and I find the MTL Air Dasher, and I pulled up like right after a shift. I didn't even have my controller, but like I was like I remember I messaged on like Twitter. I was like, "Do you guys have like controller I can borrow?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Alright." And so I pulled up at my first local, and this is where I met Corey. And obviously, like I didn't know I was gonna become great friends with Corey, so he was just there. And then like yeah, and then we like talked, and then like I kept coming to locals, and we talked once in a while, whatever. It was chill. And then UMAD happened, and again like we were talking a bit. We weren't like crazy tight at the time, but we were just chill, you know. And like and yeah, and we were just talking about like how he did in UMAD. Like I was happy for him because like I know he was struggling a lot when he first like that was like his really first like competitive game outside of Smash,
Hmm.
and he was definitely like struggling a lot at the beginning, but he rose up to be like a pretty solid player in my opinion. Um, anyways, and then after that, like after UMAD, we got a monthly, and this is where like Justin came,
Mhm.
and that's where I met Justin.
Oh,
And
really?
actually, that's not true. Actually, that's not true. I didn't meet him at a monthly. He came to one of the local at one point
Hmm.
because it was like the semaine of the construction or some shit, and he had
Yeah.
like off for work.
Yeah, he has
And then
like
like
a week every 6 months or so that he's off of work and he shows up.
yeah, exactly. And so that was the first time I met him. It wasn't the first time I had played him because we played in Strife Quebec like once or twice.
Hmm.
And then like I remember I met him, and then immediately I was like, "Yo, you're my rival. I need to beat you in Strife Quebec because he eliminated me like twice or thrice or some shit."
Hmm.
And so he was chill about it. He was like, "Yeah, whatever." And then like we played in the local, and he beat me again. And then like the monthly came, and this is when I made a Discord chat. It was me, Corey, and Justin, and
Mhm.
I wrote to them, and I was like, "Yo, like, you guys down to like go and hang out after the monthly? Like, go grab a beer?"
Yeah.
And they were like, they were both like really fucking down. And then this is like when we like after the monthly, like we went to grab drinks, and then like we got a bit drunk, whatever, and we just chill and we partied. And this is kind of like where the fart crew kind of began, you know?
Hmm.
It was like this like first like after monthly hangout. I know Corey and Justin were already friends like before then. Like they had
Yeah.
met like I mean they were playing in Smash Scene or whatever.
I think they knew
I
each
was
other in high school.
hmm and I was like just like newer to them, but like
Hmm.
we created a pretty cool bond, and like yeah, we were just like we just vibed a lot, and we yeah, and then the fart crew was kind of born from there,
Hmm.
and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. What's something you appreciate about both of them?
uh,
I know it's hard to be nice to them, but if you try your
it,
hardest,
it's so hard because I can just see them being so mean to me. No,
I'll make sure they're
nah,
nice
nah,
to you
nah.
as well. Don't worry. I'll ask them the same question. I think Corey will be fine with it. I will make sure Justin has something nice to say about you. I won't let him go, "Oh yeah, I think it's really cool that he has a girlfriend so he never has to see me." I won't let him go, "I think it's really sick that he's too good for us now."
That's so funny. What I like about Corey is I think like once you get to know him, like he's actually a very like he's a lot more thoughtful than like meets the eye. You know,
Hmm.
like he's someone that like you can actually have like pretty nice conversation with
Yeah.
about, and he's also like just like I don't know, like to me, like I feel like I can kind of talk with him about anything, and he's just
Yeah.
super chill about it, super nice, and has something to add, or like, if he doesn't, then we just meme about it or something, And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that about him. Like he's just really cool. And Justin, one thing I appreciate about Justin is he is like 100% himself
Hmm.
to a good point and a bad point, I think,
Hmm.
because there's some things that I'm like, you could fix that, but he's just like convinced, like he's just a bit prideful,
Hmm.
Um, but I do like appreciate that he's just genuinely himself, and like
Yeah.
an example of that is like for me, for example, like I have like a really hard time like ever being mean with anyone.
Hmm.
Whereas Justin, like, if he feels like that person deserves it, he'll be like, "Well, they deserve it, so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
mean to them." And I'm just like, I mean, I guess you have a point.
I think part of
So,
that's. Sorry. Finish your thought first.
but I was just gonna say not to say like he's a mean person in general,
Yeah.
Like he's generally like pretty level-headed and everything.
Yeah. I think
But
he's direct.
yeah, he's direct, exactly. I think that's a good way to put it. And like I appreciate and respect that in a sense where I'm like, oh, like like from someone from the outside, like you might not like him, but he's himself, and like
Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't know what to tell you.
I I felt a bit of friction with both him and Corey when I met them for slightly different reasons, but like they're both
Hmm.
people that I built a very quick friendship with. I think also because like I told myself like, okay, yeah, these are people that Ed Sebastian is friends with. Like I trust his judgment. I trust that if
Hmm.
I get to know them, I'll like them a lot, and I think that's the case. I was gonna say with Justin specifically, like it's something we talk about occasionally, where both Justin and I are autistic, and I think that leads to some moments where like I've talked to him a bit about that element of directness where it's like it's not at all an intentional meanness so much as like you feel like there's no equivalent. It is just like you don't want to lie to someone. It feels mean to not be direct with
Yeah,
them. Like it's not at all coming from a place of meanness so much as just like, yeah, he's a very real person.
100%.
I would agree with
Like
that.
I see what you mean, and it can definitely like catch people off guard for sure, especially when you just like first meet him. But generally, like again, I don't think, in my opinion, anyways, I don't think there's any really real malice with this guy. You know,
No,
like.
no, I think he really likes getting to know people. He's a very friendly person if you're friendly with him,
Mhm.
but also like
Yeah.
he'll match your tone. If you're just like, "Hey man, you're a fucking scrub. I hate you," then like
He won't
he
hesitate to call you a scrub back. Yeah,
yeah.
100%, 100%. He'll like say some shit like you got to get shit on or whatever. It's funny because like I know he has like a history in Smash where like people hated him, so I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
really?
like yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he told me about it where like
I'll have to talk to him
he
about
would,
it.
yeah, I'll ask him about it for sure. Where he would just like, I don't know the full story of it. Maybe like he done some bad tweets or whatever, but like. I have heard I have heard some legends of the Justin Samus days.
You were saying that you were playing a little bit of Smash. Who were you playing?
Yeah. I mean, the main Smash I got like a little bit competitive in was Melee.
Mhm,
And it wasn't like I wasn't like going to competition or anything. Like it was more with like my friend of my group friends.
mhm,
We had like a group of friends that I would meet up with like every like once a week or sometimes like once every 3 weeks. Depends. Like you know, sometimes one of those friends there was like really busy with school.
mhm,
And we got really competitive between each other in Melee. And at first, it started off like we didn't even use text. You know, like we didn't like
mhm,
wave dash or like or L cancel or whatever. So, but we had one friend that like knew about it and like would mention it sometimes or
mhm,
whatever. And then like me, like being a bit of a more like nerd and like a bit competitive, you know, especially because of like my league days, for example. I started to look more into it, and I started to really like get into Melee. Like I was like, yo, this game fucking is. I used to be obsessed with it. I'm not gonna lie. Like
mhm,
I used to like look at so much YouTube video from it, and like I remember like I got Slippy and I would play on it once in a while, you know, and like and I was really like competitive with my friend. Like I really wanted to beat him all the time.
mhm,
And it's so funny because that friend would talk a lot of shit during the matches, so it's like it just like fueled me even more, and I was like, anyways, and he was like a Samus and Peach main, and like I hated Peach because of him because it was fucking down smash, and Samus as well, like had like some obnoxious things, but anyways, I played Falco, and I played Sheik as well. And
mhm.
then I would sometimes, like for fun, play more like Young Link, Captain Falcon, and Ganondorf. Those were like more like I'm just having fun. Even like Pikachu a little bit. Like I was a lot more versatile player when I was playing Melee compared to like nowadays where I'm a bit more of a one trick, you know?
I think that's kind
Uh,
of the vibe when you're like when you're playing with your friends, even if you're kind of competitive. Like just
yeah.
because you're playing so much, it's the same thing of like I guess you are really a one trick in fighting games. Like I'll play Strive with you, and you really are like, no, I know how to play chip. Like you can play my chip, or we can play a different game.
There's a reason for it,
Hmm.
and I think like for example with Smash, like jumping between characters is not really that hard.
Yeah.
And I know like like for Corey for example, or even Wonton, like they can switch and strive like no problem. But for me, like the fun of fighting games is doing kind of like cool stuff and also like some of the combos.
Hmm.
So I don't really like when I play a character I don't know and I just don't know what to string into or what special to use, you know?
Right.
Like I like knowing what I'm doing. It's kind of like the vibe I'm getting at. I don't
Hmm.
like and Strive, Under Night, Granblue to an extent, like I can't really like switch between characters that well.
Hmm.
Granblue, at least I play two characters. I play Seeks and Lance, but
Yeah.
like I can't switch to anyone else. I would just like I would crumble so fast.
Hmm.
And it's just like not as enjoyable for me. So that's like mainly why. Where like as in Smash again, like it was just a lot easier to pick up like pick up like other characters. I find like their kit was just a lot more straightforward and like yeah, I don't know. There was just like a lot to jump between. And a thing too is like um, I would watch like a lot of melee,
Mhm.
and so I would get inspired by a lot of like players that I saw play, and I would like try to do their stuff, Like for
Mm.
example, fuck, Axe
Yeah,
was it the
the
Pikachu
Pikachu
player?
player. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would like copy his like going off the map, doing
Mm.
an up tilt with Pikachu and like making them like go downward, whatever. Like I wasn't like a pro at it, but I was like I saw him doing this and this shit's pretty effective, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. So yeah, that's like the main reason why like I don't really like switch in the fighting games.
Mm.
It's just like more of a fun reason than anything,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just have fun like when I know what I'm doing is the main thing.
Makes sense. I guess it's that you feel that it's slightly more technical to copy what people are doing in a fighting game. Because like you could theoretically do the same thing of like I don't know. You see someone do a gold lowest combo. You see how someone's running Leo mix. Like I was playing with Corey the other week after Perfect Storm and regional in Ottawa, and like
Yeah.
I remarked, oh, you're really going through the Ottawa roster, and he goes, yeah, I was watching everyone play, and now I want to try to do the stuff they were doing.
That's so funny. Not like 100%, but I feel like a big part of it for me is, and I know like the special inputs in Strive are not that complicated, but like figuring them out and also like building the muscle memory of it is a bit tougher for me. Whereas
Right.
like in Smash, it's just like side B, neutral B, down B, up B.
Makes a lot of
Like
sense.
same for the A's.
Hmm.
Whereas like in Strive or Granblue or Uni, it's more like combinations and
Hmm.
yeah, it's just it's just tougher to wrap my head around it. And like I've watched like so much TNS like for Strive.
Yeah.
So like I've obviously seen so many like different like iteration of like people playing characters or whatever. But I have never been able to like implement it in my own gameplay.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just gonna pause 1 second because I'm just getting a call. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we were talking a bit about how you're playing a lot of characters in Melee. You felt like in Strive and other fighting games, you find that a bit harder to bounce between. Do you have anything
Yeah,
to
more
add for that?
daunting. I feel like if ever like if ever I took the time to learn a character, I would probably wouldn't mind switching them,
Hmm.
switching into them like in casuals. But my thing is just like every time I boot up, I'm like I want to play my character. I
Oh yeah,
never, I never really get that like I want to try this character or whatever. Like, yeah, not really.
yeah. I think that Chip really seems like your character. Like you love him a lot. You got a lot of character loyalty. Like
100%.
I
I would
think
never see myself switching up chip.
I think part of the reason you're playing the game at this point is that you get to play Chip.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 100%.
If you had to learn another character, who would it be?
In Strive?
Yeah, like they blow up Chip, they remove him from the game. Chip players are cheaters. We listen to Justin's complaints.
Oh
You
my
gotta
god.
switch.
uh, that's an excellent question. I would play Answer if they ever add him,
Hmm,
and if not, maybe Baiken.
really?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, fair, but it's like it's a real reach.
Yeah, it's like a reach. Yeah, it's like if like for some reason they did that. First of all, I'd be so depressed, and I probably would just quit the game.
Yeah.
But if like for some reason they're like, yeah, but you have to participate in this tournament, or we're gonna gun down your family, I would learn Baiken.
You would block in
And just
bike and
increase.
cross your arms, go O2 and go, great, my family's alive. I'm going to
Yeah.
play Uni.
I guess maybe Milia as well. Milia's not so bad. She has like some cool stuff actually. Like I've like considered like just playing her for fun, but
Hmm,
like again, same thing of like every time I boot up, I'm like, well, I want to play Chip, so.
yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. I somewhat felt that way about Nago, but I don't know. I still like swapping around. Like there was as a while a few months back where I entered a few weeklies as Come Home Zion. They didn't have room for Come Home Zion. The kids miss you.
No way.
I was doing like 2K 2D grab. I was doing Inzanse into grab. Like I was
I
doing
love
Zanse
that.
Alpha Blade. I was doing Rekka Rekka Super. It was real like it was day one stuff, but it was working. It was fun.
Let's go. I love that. It reminds me of like shout out that one time where like in Strife Quebec when I was super consistent and I would do it every week. There was 1 week I couldn't for like I don't know some reason whatever, and Wonton took over for me and like entered as like Za1on's Shadow Clone, and then he played Chip the whole bracket. It was beautiful. It was so nice. I loved it. Shout out Wonton for that.
Hmm. Are you up to talk a bit about Strife Quebec?
If I sorry, can you repeat that?
Are you up to talk a bit about Strife Quebec? Because like it's
Yeah, of course.
I
I love
came in
Strife
like
Quebec.
I came in like slightly late into it. I played it like 2 or 3 slide head Sundays, which were their online
Yeah.
brackets. But like, from the way you talk about it, it seems like you were there for a while. You really, you were
Oh
in
my
the
god.
trenches. Like, if you have any
It,
anecdotes, if you have anything, open floor to go on as maintenance as you want about it.
it was one of my favorite things, honestly. It was really cool. It was every week. And like what I like about it, it was like our local scene, and like I love fighting like top players, obviously. Even if they whoop my ass or whatever. But it was nice that we had like this consistent weekly where we had people like all at the same level or around.
Hmm.
And we were like pretty good. Like we weren't like terrible. We weren't bad. We were pretty good. We just like obviously weren't at like that top level. Like if for example, like Test Your Luck would join, he would just whoop us all. If it was like Smitty would join, he would whoop us all. Towards the end, it was like Dandy Mel. Like it was just like but like for a long period of time, like it was so competitive. It was like me, Justin, Somnium. There was like Gugun that would always participate, would make some top eight. There was La Joie would always participate, would make some top eight. Oh, there was Audio Ambition. He was like the one of the main winner of Star Quebec. Geo player, really fucking good. And then we also had like some Atlantic Canada player that would join sometime, like Shrub. There's like some that are escaping my name. Oh my god, ugh, I feel so bad because
I
one of
think
them was
South is also Atlantic Canada, right?
who? South? Yeah,
South.
yeah. Yeah, that was South. That was South. Yeah. Oh man, I feel so bad. Because I haven't interacted with them in a while, but it was a chip player as well. That guy was my goat. He would join. He would join as well. And what was cool too is like sometimes we would join the Atlantic Canada weekly they had. It was like, but that one was more during a week.
Hmm.
But yeah, but it was just like it was so cool, and it was like such like something to look forward to every Sunday.
Yeah.
And we also had like a PR at the end of it as well, which is actually like I don't know if you see my poster. I'm trying to point at it like right there, the red one.
Yeah, yeah,
I bought this from Za1on, which also was one of the player, but he does like graphic design.
yeah,
And when I made the PR, he made this for me, which is like Chip like doing an Alpha Blade, like the diagonal one. Like
yeah.
so
You
he's
can
like at
kind
the
of
end
see
of it.
it.
He's like in a pose, and it says Za1on like in the middle of it. So it's like a really
Yeah,
fucking cool poster. I bought it off of him like because I saw him at Quebec and he printed some, and I was like, yo, this is so sick.
yeah.
And yeah, and it was just Kiri also. Sorry, Kiri random, but Kiri would also join all of them. Like we had such a consistent like player base. We were at like a good like 15, 20 every week basically.
Yeah.
And we had like Molly commentating. Sometimes it was What Goat. Like we just had like such a good scene going on, and I just remember like loving it so much and like looking forward to it every like Sunday. And obviously like sometimes I wouldn't perform the best, and it would make me feel like a little bit like shit. But it's part of competing, and
Mm.
you just gotta take the hit and just keep chugging forward. And it took me some while. It took me a while, but I actually managed to win one Strive Quebec Sunday. There wasn't my demon Justin, because Justin was a big demon of mine in the bracket, but it was still a victory, and it was over Busta, which is a really goated player. So, it was still good. So it felt nice, and I made a couple like top three, top four. So, yeah, and it was just like it just really like gave like such a nice drive to compete. Like having those all every week. Also Ahmed and Dyer would also participate sometimes.
Mm.
So, again, like there were like prime time Strive Quebec was like really fucking cool. Somnium as well. It was just like really fucking cool, really something to look forward to, and it's something that like I really wish upon like anyone that's like getting into fighting game and is at like that intermediate to like higher level, because like again going back to my point where like I don't want to say it's not fun to fight top players, like
Mm.
there's some fun to it. It's a lot of like it's a lot of you learn a lot about yourself when you do, and it's really fun and it's really cool. But sometimes, like entering these huge TNS bracket, for example, or like these big ass brackets, for some players, I would see can be like very daunting.
Mm.
And like a lot of people, like, they kind of like put their self value in how they perform in those tournaments,
Yeah.
and these tournaments are like so stacked, so many good players, so many people that put in like so many crazy hours, and
Hmm.
sometimes you just get whooped, and like it's part of it or whatever, and it's tough. And why I'm bringing this up is like why I love our Stripe Quebec like online weekly scene so much is like I was able to fight people at my level, at like a nice level, that it was just like competitive, and it didn't feel like too overwhelming. It didn't feel like this like mountain that I couldn't climb, like I
Yeah.
knew I could beat Sin, I knew I could beat Somnium, I knew I could beat Dyer, I knew I could beat the guy,
Mm.
like it was like these really good players, but I was like, it's feasible. And again,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound pessimistic and be like, you'll never beat a top player. Like, no, it's definitely doable. And again, like you get a lot of good lessons from it. Like, I just think like I just wish for like anyone to find like to be able to find a healthy like weekly scene like this, because to me like that was a big part of like what really made me fall in love with like fighting games and just
Mm.
like the community in general.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I used to be like so active in the Stripe Quebec Discord chat, and I met so many cool people through it, and like, and it just like brought me so much joy. So yeah, that's a bit of my tangent and what I want to say about it. And yeah, and like again, like I do love these like more stacked bracket. I do love like fighting top players, but sometimes you know it's nice to have like more even matches. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think both. It feel that feeling of like you're playing against intermediate to high level players, but not like the best players in the world, and even just that feeling of like, even like you're saying, like sometimes Test Your Luck would show up and kind of farm you. Sometimes Dandy would show up and farm, but like
Yeah,
even then, it's like that's someone in your scene. That's someone you know. It feels like
100%.
that. I don't know. I get that a lot at playing card games where I'm like, I lose to some random person I've never met who's really good,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of just like, ah, damn, I'm terrible. I lose to
Yeah,
some.
yeah,
I lose to someone that like is just as good, but I know really well. I'm kind of just like, that's the homie. Great work.
yeah, yeah. Good shit, bro.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. Like, it definitely helps swallow that pill a lot easier for
Hmm.
sure. And yeah, I just think like it was such a good time. It was such a good time, and like I often like joke about how like we didn't know what we had until it was gone,
Yeah.
because now like there's no more Stripe. Well, I mean it's still around, but they don't do like the Flighthead Sundays anymore. And they were like dabbling a bit with some Granblue. I forgot what they called it, Spot Dodge Saturday, I think.
I think so.
And it was cool and everything, but yeah. Sadly, the people who like was running Stripe Quebec like kind of moved on.
Yeah.
Shout out Gugan, the goat, and I don't blame them. Like for example, Gugan, like he has a life, he has a girlfriend, he has a job, like
Yeah.
and it was a lot of effort for them, like doing the
Hmm.
start.gg, the putting up the stream, like streaming every match. You have to stay until the end,
Hmm.
like it was a lot of effort, and I'm just super grateful that they've done that for like so many years when like we were like at the peak of Strife Quebec and even at the beginning,
Hmm. Yeah.
It was just so cool. It was so cool. Like all I have to say about it, it was just so cool. It was like what a time to be alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's very natural that like you have the moments in your life where you can put the time into something you're passionate about. And then you have
Yeah,
moments in your life where you got other stuff going on and Justin's sending you pictures of boyfriend, girlfriend, scissors best friend.
yeah, literally. So, it's just life. But
Yeah.
I definitely look back at these times like really fondly. Even despite like, having some tough losses, where I was just like feeling like shit, but I was just like, man, those were the days.
Well
And it was
that's
like
it.
it was on Sundays, and like everyone was free on Sunday, so it was just
Hmm.
perfect. It was like the perfect way to end the week.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're saying, gave you something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I think even to your point, like you have your tough losses, you feel them in the moment, but the lasting thing really is like you build a bond with people, you make some lifelong friends, you learn about yourself, like
Exactly, 100%. I think like all the relations like I made through FGC, like I'm just so grateful for.
Yeah.
And like a big part of it is just like all being nerds that just love the game, you know,
Mhm.
just love pressing buttons and seeing cool shit happen on the screen and
Yeah.
seeing the big counter hits, baiting the bursts, like all this shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, you were saying earlier, like you think that Justin is very unapologetically himself. That's something I feel about you as well. Like you very much appreciate in others when they're being authentic, when they're when they're are showing themselves. I think to an
Mm.
extent, from what you were saying earlier, it sounds like it may be a bit of you're able to do that by putting forward the character of Za1on versus Seb himself. Like,
Yeah,
do you think that Za1on and Seb are slightly different people, or they're different sides of who you are?
uh, I think hmm, that's tough. That's tough way to look at it, because
You're welcome to think about it.
no, not for sure. I just think like I am like definitely like just a very goofy person in general. Um, I think like yeah, I do think like Zon is kind of like me being able to be more myself, you know.
Hmm.
Whereas when I'm Seb, like not to say like I'm a fake ass bitch or some shit, but like you know like when I'm like when I'm hanging with like my cousin for example or whatever, and that's not to say like you know they're boring or anything like that, but I'm unable to you know talk about these cool combos or
Hmm.
mix or you know like cool shit about fighting games, and we just talk about other stuff, which is totally fine, you know. But I do think like a big part of me and a big part of like what I like is like video games. Like I like being a nerd and I like you
Hmm.
know nerding out about shit and just like and yeah, and so and also like another point too that like Zion brings out I guess is like I love like the rule of cool, you
Hmm.
know, and in society I guess like you know cool is kind of corny,
Hmm.
but and actually in fighting games too probably, but still I just
Ah.
like I just like the rule of cool, and I think like in the fighting game community you're a bit more allowed to like you know try and be more of like an anime character and like
Hmm.
you know I'm not trying to fake it, like I'm not trying to be like someone I'm not, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
be like I'm just trying to like have fun and like be cool with it, you know, that's
Yeah.
all.
It's not that you feel like you have to lie about it in your day to day so much as like it's a place where you actively get to tap into it and you feel encouraged to explore that side of you.
I think that's an excellent way to put it. Exactly. It's somewhere where I'm able to tap into it, and I really enjoy it. And you know, people in the fighting community, like I hope enjoy it as well. So I'm
I
just
think
happy
so.
with it. You know, I think like none of us like take it like too seriously. You know, I don't think
Hmm.
anyone thinks like I'm like delusional or some shit.
No. No, I think people will play along sometimes and like people like to kind of lean into the a wrestling promo of it and kind of go like, yeah, no, he thinks he's a ninja, he's crazy, but like
Yeah.
it is always very apparent that it's like you have that level of familiarity with people and they feel that
Mhm.
you are genuine enough that they can approach you in that way and that they're not afraid of like if I say this to him, is he gonna get really pissed off? Is he gonna be like, no man, I am?
Yeah, exactly. I just hope they never chuck me in a psych ward.
I don't know. You keep playing Strive, they might.
Yeah.
What are you playing besides Strive these days?
I've really been into Granblue right now.
Hmm.
Not gonna lie. So, I'll go on a little bit of a tangent, but this December I went on vacation with my girlfriend. We went to Panama, Guatemala, Chile,
Hmm.
and it was like for a long period of time. It was like about like 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks. And on the fourth week of it, around, I started to get like some Strive craving. I was just like, man, I miss playing chip. You know, like I was like, I really want to like do some chip stuff.
Needed your
So
fix.
so when we came back from vacation, I was really in the mood and I started to grind Strive and I was having fun. Like, it was really cool. Like I was actually like enjoying it quite a bit. And then there was also Perfect Storm coming, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to practice for it. I even participated in like two TNS, so I was like, you know,
Hmm.
trying to get back into the groove of it. Obviously, like at the start, I felt a bit like shit. Like I was like, oh man, like I really blow. But with a bit of time, practice, like I got back into it, and I was like, yeah, no, this is cool. Like I'm enjoying it. Obviously I'm not the perfect Strive player, but it was cool. And then I went to Perfect Storm and I played Strive and I placed like fifth, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't too bad. And then I played like Granblue and Uni. Uni I did shit. Granblue I like was like I was on the edge of top 16 if I'm not mistaken. And the reason I'm bringing all this up was that since I like didn't perform that well in Strive, well, I mean I got fifth place, whatever. Um,
By your standards.
yeah, by my standards, yeah, because I was trying to like at least get top three.
Right.
But I got top fives, and I was like, whatever. But at the event, I got to see a lot of people playing Granblue, and it was hype. Like definitely, like they have like more of a crowd than we do in Strive, which is totally
Mm.
normal. Like our scene in Granblue is pretty nice. We have a lot of good players,
Yeah.
and it was hype to watch. And during casuals, like I played some Strive, but I also played some Granblue. And the last thing I'll mention too is that Achiman, which is a Lancelot player, I ask him often, again, like me being a nerd, like I often like to inquire about like, yo, like, do you have any cool shit to share with about Lancelot? Like
Mhm.
what to do, or whatever. And I also had like some question where I was like, oh, like on these moments where I don't have the wall bounce, like, and I want a raging strike, like, what's the combo? And then he showed me whatever, and
Mhm.
he showed me a couple setup, and I don't know, like for me, like it just like it's this whole accumulation that just like it really started clicking with me. And this week, like I've been grinding some Granblue a bit unranked, and I've just been like really, really enjoying Lancelot. Like I really fucking like him a lot.
That's great to
And it
hear.
kind of like yeah, and it kind of like halted my grind in Stripe because like after Perfect Storm, like it's not that I hate Stripe or anything. Like I was just like I had my eyes on Granblue and I was like I'm done with some Granblue. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, it's a pretty lit game. And so yeah, I've been playing a lot of Lancelot, and honestly, like really fucking fun character. My favorite character of all time will always be Chip, and I just think he's the funnest character. But like Lancelot is pretty up there for me. Like he's really fun.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I've been playing. And once in a while, like I boot up some Uni just to train some staff combos, but like it never lasts too long.
Yeah, it was. I remember this time last year it was kind of a running thing of like, both the other guys in the Fart crew would always go, "Oh yeah, Seb's got a training mode, Seth. He never plays. He never plays against people, but he's got the training mode, Seth."
Yeah. Yeah, that's really true. I am quite a training mode like appreciator for
Hmm.
sure. I just like I like to drill my stuff a lot. It's like it's a place where like I have fun and like I get to relax a bit.
Mm.
Sometimes like fighting opponent like it's just like it's not as like enjoyable sometimes. Sometimes you're just like a bit stressed, or you're
Hmm.
just like not having the best day. But training mode is always gonna be chill, relax, good time, Like now I
Hmm.
put on some music and I'm just drilling stuff and I'm just thinking about stuff. I
Yeah.
think like one of my issues though is that in my training mode, like I don't actually train like situation. It's more like I'm just gonna do my combos.
Right.
I don't like train, for example, like fuck, what's it called? Fuzzy jumping or
Hmm.
like fuzzy teching or shit like that, which would be like very valuable time to put into to learn like really important like stuff. But I don't know. I
It's
just
not what you like.
no, exactly. I just like drilling the combos. Combos are like definitely like a big part of the fun for me in fighting games. Combos and like mix ups. I think this is like where I enjoy the most.
Yeah, you like the offense.
I like the offense a lot. Yeah. I used to be like all offense, like pedal to the metal. And then eventually with time, when you start fighting really good player, you realize, oh shit, I do have to play some neutral.
Yeah.
And then you also realize, oh shit, on defense, I just keep getting counter hits, or they keep baiting my DP. So maybe I should learn some defense.
Hmm. Yeah, that does
But
that is harder to lab though. Like if like you're saying you like just being able to set up the situation and vibe, that
yeah,
is
yeah,
slightly
no,
more complicated to set up in training.
100%, 100%.
If you are giving advice to someone that doesn't really feel like training mode clicks with them, they're just like they understand that they should boot it up at some point to figure stuff out, but they sit there
Hmm.
and they're just like, well, no, I want to play a person. Uh, I don't know. What would you say is a good way to start? Just like having ideas, developing your thoughts, figuring out what you want to figure out.
I think one good way to look at it is as like a warm up before fighting people.
Hmm.
I think like it's good to drill in some of like your combos, especially like the harder ones. Like for me, for example, like I really like training like the optimals, and the optimals, they're very situational, but they're
Hmm.
very fun when you land them. And I think that's something that I would like suggest to someone where I'm like, look, you don't have to spend like 30 minutes in training mode, but just like before you boot up your rank session, go into training mode, do your optimal, like the hard stuff, like do them like one time, two times, and then switch to another one, whatever. And like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and then go and play your games, But
Hmm.
but don't slack on your practice. Like practice is it's pretty important in my opinion.
I would agree.
Yeah. I think that's one way I would approach it because I feel like if you like impose it on someone as like, oh, you must do it, or like it's like it's like giving homeworks. I
Yeah.
don't want to give homeworks, Like I just want you to look at it as like this bonus activity you can do that can help you, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think that it's the case with a lot of things in life. If you can teach yourself to truly enjoy the process of the things that aren't as exciting on the surface, if you can like still find fulfillment, find enjoyment in that process, you get so much out of it. Like I I think one of the best things you can do in any game is just falling in love with learning.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's like falling in love with learning and falling in love with. I think like another one would be like solving problems.
Hmm.
Like you're having this issue, like how do I solve it?
Yeah.
And some people are really good at it. I think like someone, for example, for me that comes to mind would be like Dyer.
Hmm.
Dyer is like the number one guy that I would see like, okay, like I'm having this issue in this matchup, like how do I solve this?
Yeah.
What is my solution? Whereas like me, I'm a bit more of like a hard player where I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out somehow. I'll figure it out some way somehow. Like I guess I'll try running up faster this time. I don't know.
Yeah. If I hit the dash macro slightly harder, it'll work out.
Yeah, exactly. No, obviously, like there's some stuff that I'm like, okay, like I do put in some like studies sometimes. Like for an example of that, it was like before Perfect Storm when I was like grinding Strive. I knew that like one of my main opponents that I was gonna have to fight was gonna be Perkins, and he's been having a winning record on me. I think he's like I think he must be like 4 or 5 wins in a row against me in bracket.
Hmm.
So like I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna study a little bit Asuka. So I opened up the Dustloop page and like I was looking into it and like I was thinking about some stuff and yeah, and it helped out. Like I still lost to him like 3-1, but I put up like a hell of a fight. Like I was blocking so many overheads and like I was just like I was a lot more locked in and I was a lot more confident. Whereas like some of our previous matches, I was just like frustrating and just running in. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
To that point, like I find that it's a lot easier to be satisfied versus frustrated if you really understand what happened. Where
a hundred
like
percent.
even
Yeah.
if you didn't deal with it well, knowing why you got opened up, what happened, versus just being like, "Damn, I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going on. My opponent must think I'm an idiot." Like it's
Yeah.
night and day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just putting in that time in the lab, I think even gives you the context for what happened to you and lets you
Mhm.
adapt on the fly versus being like, "Okay, shit. Yeah, we got 2 more games of this. I'm not allowed to figure out the solution until I'm done."
Yeah, pretty much. I have two more game of this and I have no idea what to do.
Hmm.
That feeling is tough. I've definitely like been there before. But yeah, that's why I like, labbing, practicing, always a good thing.
Hmm.
Always a good thing. Obviously like match experience is also like a great thing to have.
Hmm.
Especially like if you play a player a lot and can figure out some of their habits, like can be really fucking useful in matches.
Hmm.
But it always goes both ways, so you gotta watch out for that.
Yeah. Even then,
I
if
remember.
you learn how someone plays and you play someone on the character that's the complete opposite, you can also go, "Hey, you know what? You always stop me from doing this because of how you play, but I could get away with this against someone else." Like I really see that playing against. I told you this when I first started playing Strive. Uh,
Yeah.
I would always play against your chip and go, "I don't really know what's going on. I don't know how to deal with this." And then I would
Hmm.
play net play at a much lower level, and I would go, "Okay, yeah, you're doing in the pressure Seb does, but minus this thing."
Yeah.
Or even just like,
These little things.
yeah, like, okay, yeah, you're really aggressive I know what type of thing you want to do versus someone being very passive, and I'm like, okay, cool. The stuff that I don't really get to do against this player
I get
can
to do
come into
against
play
them.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. No, player like player profile is like so important, I
Mm,
find. And it's something that actually like Pedro, like random Pedro mentioned, but before
let's
I
go.
went to, yeah, the goat, before I went to a combo breaker, it was like my first major, and I like wanted some advice from him because like he's a lot more like veteran and all that. And he told me like something that he told me that like I always keep in mind is just like against players, like you have your game plan, and like one of the things that it's so important not to do is overcomplicate stuff.
Mm,
Start off simple, like go with your game plan and learn little information from the enemy player,
mm,
little by little, little by little. And then like on the second, third game, whatever, you can start going for like hard reads. But like for these first like one game or two, start very simple. Start very
mm,
simple. 'Cause sometimes you won't even realize, but like your simple game plan will just absolutely destroy this player.
mm.
And then like, cause this player is overthinking, for example,
Yeah.
and it's just like yeah, like player profile, like the way they play is so important. But like obviously in first to threes or even in Granblue's case first to twos, it's like it goes so fast.
Mm,
But you have to like start off simple and then like figure out stuff and then go for the hard reads. But like you can't go on like from the beginning with like these crazy like okay this player's gonna do this player's gonna do that. No, 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 no.
yeah, you might be
You just
right, but more often than not, it'll backfire.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And especially as players get better and they start being able to go, okay, yeah, you figured out my thing. I'm not going to just keep doing it until I lose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
do you have something to say?
No, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Just didn't want to cut you off if you did. What would you say that? I guess without giving out the secrets too much, what would you say that your player profile is? Like, if somebody had to play you tomorrow and you weren't invested in you know what, keep it close to my chest, don't tell them. Like, what are the things you're good at? What are the things you're bad at? Like, in one sentence, how do you
Um.
play?
So I think that's an interesting question. I think some of the things I like most. I mean, it depends on the game, obviously, but like say we're speaking about Strive, with Strive, like Chip has like one of the best strike throw in the game, and I don't abuse it as much. And the big and I think it's like a chip player thing in general because of risk reward. Because if your grab gets backdashed and you get close slash counter hit, you're pretty much cooked.
Hmm.
But it's still such a strong tool that he has. And like I'm often like just afraid to use it more, I think.
Hmm.
So that's like one of like my player profile. I'd say like someone could abuse a bit with me, where he's like you don't have to be so scared about the grab because he's too scared himself.
Hmm.
A thing too is like I kind of get sometimes predictables with my DPs. I'm like one of these players where like I get tired of blocking pretty fast. So if you start like throwing a lot of strings at me, like eventually like I'll try to DP into one of those strings,
Hmm.
or on wake up sometimes too. Like um another thing, 100 meter. I've been fucking my mind has been completely fucking invaded by Rora, so
Hmm.
there's a high chance that I'm gonna go for a Zansei Roga at 100 meter and RC it.
It does so much
So
damage. It's so cool.
the reward is so good.
I feel
and I
you.
get and I get to skip neutral.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. No, come home Za1on is absolutely buffering Zanseis at people over and over again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing too is I like to go for mix. So if you have like really good like defense, like in terms of like fuzzy mashing or like fuzzy jumping and all that stuff, like and I know there's like some OSs with like the DPs with like cross up and all that. Like if you have this, like you use it against me because
Hmm.
I like going for mix. Um, and then another one of my player profiles that Dyer scolded me so many times about is and I try to work on it, but sometimes I just like it jumps out of my mind is like I like to do 2K 2D or like 5K 2D. So if I miss my 5K, my 2D is gonna come out anyways, and you can
Hmm.
like really abuse that sometimes.
Interesting.
And the thing that Dyer always drills to me is like if I do 5K into 2D like a slide, like 5K 2D,
Hmm.
like really fast, on hits it will come out, on whiff it won't come out, and it's really
Hmm.
useful. But some like I do have it in mind, but I just like sometimes like it just slips my mind and I forget.
Yeah.
And then like for some more positive things, I feel like I'm just like talking mad
Yeah.
trash about
Yeah.
myself. But I do think that I'm a player that is pretty solid with his routing. I will often go for the correct routing on the counter hit or the stray hits or whatever. It really depends, but I'm generally pretty like good and conscious about it. I also think like pressure wise, like I have a lot of different sequence that I can go for. And like I've been playing chip for like fuck. Strive's been out for how many years? 4 years.
Yeah. 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. So my pressure sequence are pretty locked in into my head,
Hmm.
even though I don't grab enough. Um, and I do have like some ways to call out certain like backdashers or even like the flex shields and drawers. Like I have like some techniques that I like to use.
Hmm.
So I have some weakness. I have some strengths. Obviously, coming from myself, it's hard to introspect a bit, but those are like what I could point out on myself, I'd say.
Makes
So I
sense.
think like overall profile player, someone who likes to go for mix, has some exploitable offensive habits like the 5K 2D thing, like I was saying. Um, and uh, and and yeah, exploitable like more defense, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense. Makes
No,
sense. I think that's
I'm trying to like
succinct.
I'm trying to say it in the perspective of like someone fighting me, like oh watch out for this.
Yeah, I think that what you listed out makes sense. If anyone's got Autumn in your path for UMAD, study this up.
Yeah, yeah, set this up for real.
Uh, I guess I'll put in Corey's question for you now.
Sure.
As alluded to, both the Fart crew had a question for you. Corey's was a little more serious.
Okay, sure.
uh, Corey wanted me to ask you if you like to play pretty flashy, you like to play for the clip. It's something you somewhat had to unlearn. But do you feel that there are moments in tournament where you really it felt that bite you and you had to learn from it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It has happened to me like so many times actually. It happened to me like often, often, often,
Hmm.
often.
What are some ones that
Um,
stand out?
once I was playing against Test Your Luck and like UMAD, and I went for this like really cool looking grab combo, but it's like super suboptimal because like grab scaling is really bad.
Hmm.
Um, and like it's not like a terrible combo, but it's like 50. You spend 50 meter, you do like for Doggo, especially at the time, it was maybe like 15% of his health
Hmm.
for 50 meter, and you get like a knockdown that leads into a mix. Like that was like it. So it's like, nah, like that moment, I was definitely like, nah, 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 I shouldn't have done that. There are often times where like that's like a bit player specific, but I play against Kami, and I mess up a setup, and that's like something I just do like so many times in like in a more like online setting,
Hmm.
where I mess up a setup, but I know I have time to backdash, and I think the player is gonna grab because like I messed up the setup.
Right.
Well, I go for backdash, and then I buffer 6H right away because he's in the corner, and that leads into like my flashiest combo.
Hmm.
And against Kami specifically, he never fell for it, and I must have done that to him like at least 10 times in bracket, like at least. And he
Next time it'll
always
work.
matches. He always matches like 2P 5P, and he gets me, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a moment I should have learned.
You got to be true to yourself sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and another one that stood out to me was when I was fighting Dyer at WeMad, like all these years ago, and Dyer like very footsies, very like meticulous player,
Mhm.
and I was just trying to do the flashy shit. To be fair, it did get really close. I think it was like game five, if I'm not mistaken. Going from memory, um, so like not too bad, but definitely like maybe if I would have went for like more optimal stuff, I could have just won the game, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, stuff like that. So yes, yeah, I do realize that sometimes I fuck up for the going for the clip. Does that mean I'm gonna learn from it and stop going for it? Probably not.
You wouldn't be you if you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
But that was a good question. I'm happy with Corey's question.
Yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised. He was the one I asked second, so I
Uh,
was somewhat expect I was somewhat expecting, is he just gonna ask me the exact same thing as Justin?
that would have been so funny, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
picture
god.
and all, he just shows me the exact same picture.
That would have been so jokes. It would have surprised me. They're often on the same page, these two guys.
Yeah, no, they're a bit of a hive mind.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. The far crew.
Yeah, I guess on that note, I'd like to talk to both of them at some point. Do you have a question you would like to ask both of them?
Uh, I'll think about it. I have like
Yeah,
some stuff that are like quick in my mind, but I'm like, I'll have to think about it. I'll think about it. But
yeah,
I'll definitely when you do interview them, like, I'll come my way and
I'll hit
I'll
you
send
up.
you a
Yeah,
nice message. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sounds good.
To the viewers, this is something you'll be able to keep track of and see in the future episodes.
So yeah, I guess last serious question I have for you.
Okay.
Um, you were a big reason I got into going to
I
going to
remember.
events, all that.
Mhm.
For context, I used to work at a card store. He would come into my work occasionally, and he was just
And blood.
yeah, somebody that I recognized. And I felt like I don't really play fighting games that much, but cool, there's a local event going on. I'll tune into you, Mad. And I remember seeing him in either the top 16 or the top 8, like
Yeah,
just
I think that was the time I got top three,
it
possibly,
was your match
or
against
top.
Test Your Luck.
That's okay.
But yeah, you had
Top,
a pretty good run.
it was in top eight for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching and just be like, oh damn, this guy's making a pretty good run. Like I knew you played Strive, but very much was like, I don't know if this guy is like has never won a game of net play in his life or is about to win Evo. So it was very cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool seeing that. Like it was very definitely one of those moments where the clip farming pays off in your favor.
Yes.
And I don't know. I'm a bit of an introverted person. I'm a bit shy about things, but like
Hmm.
at the time, I was just like, oh, I should hit him up. This is a moment of human connection where like I should just express to someone, hey, you know,
Yeah.
I I saw you playing and it looked like fun and good shit. And yeah, you responded to me a bit like I was a Make a Wish kid asking you to sign my jersey. Like you're like, yeah, for sure. I can show up. We can play some sets if you want. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Like I'm not even trying to play sets. I was just like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool. But like
yeah,
I remember playing with you and like enjoying playing, feeling like, okay, yeah, cool. Like this is where I can improve at the game. And you really pushed me to show up to weeklies, engage more with the scene.
yeah. Hmm.
Uh, yeah, that was just something that really helped me keep showing up when I otherwise probably would have gone, I'm not really a good enough player, not whatever. But over time, I've realized that's not really what it's about. Like, if anybody at home is watching and feels like they have some hesitation to get into their local scene to engage with it, uh,
Hmm.
do you have any advice for how someone should engage with it? Like,
Yeah. And I just want to like make a mention before I get to that point, like the I didn't like mean to like answer like a Make a Wish kid
no,
thing,
no,
but
no. I'm joking with
but
you. Like,
I no, for sure. But I think like a big part of me is like I really fucking enjoy fighting games and really enjoy the fighting game community. And so when people show interest in that community, like I kind of try my best to, that's kind of what I did with you, where I was like, "Yo, like we should play. You should like try the locals. You should
Mm.
like, you know, and that was like the reason why I responded like that. I think like
Yeah.
I just like it's like it's something that brought me so much joy and like so many relation like friends and you know such good times, and I just kind of like want to share the love a bit with others, you know, and like be
You
like
definitely did.
give the opportunities to other like to experience the things that I've experienced, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like that's where like my response like kind of came from when like you messaged me, and which by the way was like a super like heartwarming moment. I was like, oh my god, it was really cool.
I'm glad to hear.
Um,
Because I remember feeling
yeah,
like, I don't know, I don't want to be weird with like someone I don't know.
uh,
But I think that's to that point. In general
I
in
mean,
your life, like just be a bit weirder with people. Like you were mentioning earlier, you feel like it's a lot in the world. People don't necessarily find just being yourself, being, you know, being energetic about the things you like cool, but like
hmm
it's sick. Like even if people will shut that down sometimes, just be yourself and you will find the people that really do fuck with that.
yeah,
And
exactly, 100%.
there will be people that don't get it, but there also will be people that will. And even if that's like a 9-to-1 ratio, that one person that really does fuck with it is someone you never would have met if you suppressed it.
It's so important to me. And I'll go into like a small tangent, but it's like one of
Please.
these lessons that I've learned like in my life, I guess, where like it's super random, but like it was more like after high school, I went to this like person's party, and I was like I'm like a pretty social guy sometimes,
Hmm.
especially when like you know I was trying to make friends at the time, whatever. And so like I was glad to be at this party, and it was this girl, and she was like, and so like I met all like her friends basically, and like they were everyone was like chill, everyone was having a good time, whatever. But the girls whose birthday it was like so like depressed, mad, and was like so like disappointed,
Hmm.
and it was just like, and I was like, what's like, why, you know, like what's going on? And then like the person that were there were like, oh, it's because like a bunch of people that she invited didn't show up.
Hmm.
And then like this, like I don't know why that moment stuck with me so much of like, don't like, you know, lament yourself or don't get sad or don't get like super like, you know, emotional about like the people that aren't there. Focus on the people that are here right in front of you, that are
Hmm.
like here for your party, for you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's kind of like to do with the point you were saying of like, you know, whatever the 9% that laughs at you, but the 1% that is there, you know, like care about these people, not the fucking the negative energy, you know.
Yeah. It's a nice way of framing
And
it.
yeah, no, like that lesson like really stuck with me, and it's something that like I often like think about where I'm like, there's just no reason to think about the people that are in my back, you know. Like
Hmm.
I just need to focus on the people that are in front of me and that are like loving and positive. Like giving the attention to the negativity like won't really lead anywhere, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Anyways, I
It's
feel like
it's
it
tempting,
just
but
yeah, it just breeds more, you know. So it's like, what's the
yeah.
point? But just to go back to the question, if someone's trying to get into fighting games and they don't know where to begin, I would highly recommend, you know, checking your local scenes. Also like Twitch streams, Discords, you know, like there's so many places where fighting game players are like active and there for like a genuine good time and just
Hmm.
like, you know, joking around. Obviously there's the trolls, but there's the trolls in every community. Like I don't know what to say, like, you know, just ignore them or avoid them. But generally, yeah, and just like, you know, find yourself like a local Discord, or if you have like a local scene, support it, you know, when if you can, if you have the financial mean and the time to do it, like it's gonna reward you in the long run, as it did for me for sure, you know.
Hmm.
Like I took that chance like all these years ago where I was like, I'm just gonna check it out, you know, like what do I have to lose? And I checked it out, and here I am today, like so grateful for like all the friends, relations I made. Like I still love fighting games so much. You know, don't make it your whole personality, but like for me, like I really see it as like it's like my hobby. It's
Yeah.
the hobby I really enjoy the most. Like I think like in general gaming is my hobby, but like fighting game, it's kind of like the separate hobby where I'm like it's where I get to be more like competitive, where I get to prove myself a little more, where I get to achieve like goals, you know, where it's like I get to make these placements or get this cool clip or beat these players that I've never been able to beat.
Mm.
And again, it all originated from me like making the push and going to that local. So I really encourage you, the viewer, whoever you are, if that's something like you have a curiosity for, like to go for it. Like I in my opinion, anyways, like I know there's like it's not always like complete positive for people that join the community, but I want to say like at least 90 to 95% like just have like a positive outcome, positive like experience from it. Whereas like 1% or 5%, I don't know what happens. Like it's not always rainbow and sunshine,
Mm.
and obviously hope it doesn't happen to the person, but for the most part, like it's just always so good in my
Yeah.
opinion. And just like ignore the unhinged people
Yeah.
that you see at times. At times, like sometimes like people get a bit too competitive and they get a bit too salty, but like it's fine. Like Corey's one of the best guy ever, and sometimes he gets salty, but you just ignore it, and he fucking gets over it, and then you just get a beer with him, and everything's cool. So
Oh yeah. He gave me the anecdote once of he felt like he really started improving at that because he used to feel like it was normal, and then at some point he was getting upset at someone, and they went, "Look, man, this is a bad vibe. We're playing a video game,"
yeah,
and that he kind of needed someone to just frankly say that.
yeah, I'm not 100%.
But yeah,
No, definitely. It's we're all here to like video games. Like it's supposed to be fun at the end of
yeah,
the day. It's not supposed to destroy you. It's not supposed to destroy your mood. It's not supposed to destroy your mental. Like we do it for fun, and like
yeah,
obviously like we all get invested and like it hits us a little bit, but give yourself time,
yeah.
thoughts. Check Corey Gaming; they're really good. They'll make you realize like some stuff like
Hmm.
are just out of your hands, and it's totally fine. So yeah, that would be my I think my advice: check for your locals, check for discords, participate in the Twitch chats. Like there's just so much love to be shared in the fighting game community,
Yeah.
and that's why I love it so much, and it's such a part of my life.
Hell yeah. So I guess just closing out, like I said, that's all of my actual questions.
Yeah.
I need to ask you, who is your favorite Naruto character?
It's a tough one. I think if you like ask me like in Shippuden, it's probably okay, not even that stuff. Okay, I'll actually like I'll go with a guts feeling. I'll say in Shippuden, it's probably Killer B. Because I respect him. Like he's just himself. He's so fucking cool. Like the way he fucking handles his eight swords. Like come on. Anyways, aura, aura, aura. Anyways, that's for Shippuden. And then in Naruto, it's between Shikamaru and Rock Lee, I'd
Hmm.
say. I think Shikamaru, I think aesthetic wise, like he looks cooler. He has like more of like that cool vibe. But man, Rock Lee, like come on, it's just like just such a story that like you're just like you just want to love him, man. He's just so cool.
You're not rooting for Gara in the Linkin Park AMV?
No, fuck no. As a kid, nah, hell nah. I was team fucking Rock Lee all the way.
I was a Gara fan.
Gara is pretty cool. I can't lie. And he honestly is probably one of the creepiest character. Like him and Shino for me in Kid Naruto was like damn.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
and
loved
and
Shino too.
and
Shino's
and,
great.
and Kankuro as well. They all had that like a bit more of like an eeriness to them. That was cool.
Oh yeah, I think that early Naruto is very good at just having creepy characters.
100%. Like they were kids. I'm controversial thought, but I'm still like a bigger fan of Naruto than Naruto Shippuden.
Hmm,
Like I just think like early Naruto was just so peak, and I think like part of it is like nostalgia for like when I was younger and I would watch it,
of course.
but also like bro, you've seen the Chunin exam arc. Like this shit is so good.
That's goat. Entire animes have tried to rip that off one for one.
I swear, tried and failed.
Who's your favorite Boruto character?
No comments.
All right, there you have it. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
Just I want to say thank you for having me in the interview. It was really fun.
Thank you.
Obviously, I just love talking with you in general, Mancello. I hope we can hang out soon. But I love that you're doing these like fighting game interview. It's really cool, you know. Especially because like I'm not no like top dog name fighting game player. I'm just the Hokage of Montreal that
I
enjoys
mean,
fighting games.
that's what it's about, though. Like the reason I wanted to start doing this was I talk a lot with my friend Kubi, who was the first interview I did, who plays a lot of Flesh and Blood, and
Okay.
like I find talking to him about like his improvement process, about how he sees competition, very interesting. It's something that I've
Yeah.
always liked talking about, and like I don't know, the goal is not to be like, damn, you're nasty at whatever game you play. Like, tell me how sick you
You
are. Tell me about your
so
top
you're
eights. Tell me about your results. It's like
so you're not
every.
gonna show my the Za1on montage in this video.
I can if you want me to.
No, no. Please no.
We're keeping that one underground.
No, I'm still proud of it, but it's just a meme at this point.
If you got the SoundCloud link, you can hit it up. Otherwise, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the type of person that wants to put a lot of themselves into competition, into improving at a game, like there are people who tend to have a unique personality, have a unique perspective of things. Like
Mhm.
you can ask a lot of competitors the same questions, and they will give you very different answers and go on very different tangents. And
Yeah.
a lot
No,
of the idea,
100%.
a lot of the idea is just like, I don't know, especially when I was younger, I felt just, for lack of a better word, just I felt weird. I felt like I didn't really fit in with people,
Mhm.
and then like, and a lot of that was just like, why do I care about games so much? Why do I give a shit about this? But like you're saying
Yeah.
about how you feel like you can really fit in with people, that want to talk about your combos, that want to talk about whatever. It's that
Yeah.
feeling of like it gives you room to really explore that aspect of yourself. And
100%. And I think like one point that I'd like to add like about this, like that you just mentioned, um, and it's like it's this thing of like, I get it to a certain degree of like where people are like, well, video games are useless, like you're wasting your time. You could be like doing anything else or whatever. But to me, they're not,
mm,
and to a lot of people, they aren't either. And I think it's nice that with the community, we can all like love and appreciate putting in time into these fighting games,
yeah,
whereas like the outside community, like the people from the outside are like, oh, well, these nerds are wasting their time. But I'm like, no, like I'm actually like, I'm creating bonds and I'm creating moments and I'm just really enjoying myself.
yeah,
You know, it's a beautiful thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything or anyone you want to shout out?
Uh, I want to shout out UMAD that's coming this year. Come to Montreal, UMAD. It's gonna be really sick. There's also SoMad coming. This is a bit sooner though. I also want to shout out the Canadian fighting game scene in general. Everyone has just been really cool. Ottawa, Ontario, like Atlantic Canada, they've all been great. Quebec, obviously. I just think like we have a really beautiful fighting game scene, and it's just like if you come to one of our events, like you'll see a lot of familiar faces if you keep recurring, like coming to other events, and
Mm,
I just really appreciate that. So yeah, I just want to shout that out. Shout out the Fart Crew. Shout out the Gabacord. Um, Shout out fighting games. Shout out, yeah, I was gonna say Strive, but I want to say just fighting games in general, man. They're just so cool.
yeah.
I love them.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for the tangents. Thank you for being you.
yeah. Thank you, Manchelo, again. I really appreciate it. It was really fun.
Thanks.